Hello everyone, welcome to Make It Monday. Today is June 30th. We are live here in the Pink Barn. I am Danny Grolla, Pink Barn Stamper, coming to you from a very, very warm Tucson, Arizona. We were 111 today. So as you can see, when I get warm, my neck turns red, so don't worry, I'm okay. I do have a little bit of a stuffy nose still. So those of you that don't know, I wasn't able to go live last week, the 23rd, because I wound up coming down with COVID. Yay me. So you guys all know that the previous week that hello Melanie, that we went to Phoenix for my daughter's birthday and went to the aquarium. Well, apparently I picked up COVID from the aquarium. So so you guys saw me live on Friday with my husband and I was feeling okay, but towards the end of the evening, I started really, like, my throat started feeling scratchy. So I was like, maybe I just have allergies because it has been extremely dry here. Maybe, it's just a, scratchy throat, whatever. And then come Saturday, it started feeling a lot worse. I was feeling really tired and just kind of sluggish and wasn't sure what was going on. Sunday, kind of the same thing. Monday, it really kicked my butt. So it was really kind of disappointing, the time frame that this happened, because my daughter had a doctor's appointment that she was supposed to go to on Tuesday, which we had been waiting for a couple of months to go see this doctor, because in this doctor's office that she goes to, a couple of the other doctors that are there are all out on leave. And so she's the only one doing it. And it has taken us a couple of months to get this appointment. But Monday, I kind of read about some COVID symptoms and I thought, you know what? It's feeling kind of COVID-y. I kind of started losing my sense of smell. I lost the sense of taste, all those kinds of things, kind of like that typical COVID symptoms. So I went in and took a test, and lo and behold, it came back positive. Yay me. So I told my husband, I'm going to have to call and cancel her appointment tomorrow. I hate doing that because it was such short notice. And I know these doctors rely on these appointments because obviously she's a busy lady. She doesn't have time to be messing around. But it also being at a clinic that is for special needs and they're compromised people, I definitely didn't want to go and risk passing this on to other people. I mean, you're talking about some pretty sick people and kiddos that are on ventilators and stuff, and they can't risk getting this. And so like at 5 o'clock in the evening after I took that test, I text the doctor and I was like, hey, we just tested positive for COVID. I know you don't want us to come in because obviously she's kind of running the show by herself since her other, cohorts are off on leave and doing their thing. So I was like, I'm going to have to reschedule with you. And she goes, oh my God, thank you so much. Because, a lot of people might just come in because of the fact that they have waited so long, but I don't want to be that person, just saying. And I really felt like crap anyways, that I did not want to have to drive all the way into town. It is too stinking hot that to go in and deal with that. No, not feeling well, and then risking other people getting sick just doesn't sound
Not feeling well,
fancy to me.
Risking other
So that's that. Do you guys notice my new hair? So remember how I told you guys I ordered another wig? You guys have seen my little short bob wig. So this one, her name is Claire. See, she's kind of long. But I am in love with this one. I've had to kind of finagle with the bangs because I've never had bangs in my life. This is called Claire, and it is the color apricot. and I am just in love with this wig. Oh my gosh. Like, it is so comfortable. It's not hot because it's what do they call it? They call it I don't know, it's breathable. It's got completely open like weaving in it, and it's just so light and airy, and it's really like just a beautiful color. It looks so natural, I feel. It was a definite shock when I looked in the mirror because I've never had long, luxurious hair like this because my hair is not thick at all. I have very kind of thin, fine hair. So I thought, you know what? I've been wanting to go back to the whole blonde thing. I've always been blonde, and well, kind of this textury color. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going gray. So blonde is kind of out of the works for me to have to try to dye my hair and do all that stuff now. So when I saw this color, I knew I wanted to try this one. And oh my gosh, again, affordability for a gorgeous wig. It is heat resistant, so you can run a like iron through this. It is a synthetic, but it is free parting, so you can flip it around and it still looks like your natural scalp. So I'm in love. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my new addiction. So you guys might see me looking like, I don't know, I told my husband, I'm like Debbie Does Dallas or something. It's just got crazy. I said, some days I have gray hair and it's a short bob. Some days I have bangs and it's luscious and curly and it's blonde. So he's like, yeah, he goes, it's kind of fun. And I go, yeah. I said, it's not like, you have to worry about going through all this and getting your hair done. You can just throw this thing on, and at the end of the night, you take it off and it looks just as beautiful hanging on a, mannequin head. So I'm just like, I'm loving it. Anyways, it's just kind of fun. You can do different things and be, different styles that you normally would never have. So just kind of one of those fun things. So, all right, you guys, I am going to get you guys flipped around. I need to take a drink. Sorry, I'm going to try my best to not sniff because I hate that. I hate the sound of people sniffing. Like, it drives me crazy, so I can only imagine that it would drive you guys crazy. So I'm going to definitely be aware of that. I have a box of Kleenex sitting here if I need to take care of things. Hopefully I don't have a coughing attack. I did bring a big thing of water out here, so hold tight. Let me get you guys flipped around and we're gonna get into this. Right now we are sitting at 106, so it is still very hot. I've got the mini split. It's cranked, it's going. I've got a little fan going over here. So we're going to try to stay cool during this. I mean, I am in a barn that is uninsulated, so we're trying our best here. But I have a beautiful set that I want to share with you guys tonight. I have come up with some fabulous cards. One is actually for the Independence Day color scheme. So if you have been looking for any kind of card to do with the red, white, and blue, this is a fantastic set for that. And you guys are going to see the versatility that who would think that you could use flowers for a red, white, and blue 4th of July Independence card. But hey, I've done it and I can't wait to share with you guys. So hold tight. I'm going to get you guys flipped around. Hello, Anne. Hello, Frida. Frida says it is 89, or what'd she say? No, wait a minute, 98. Here comes my dyslexia. 98 degrees there in Oregon. Ooh-wee. Well, hopefully it cools off before we come up there. We'll be up there late September, early October. So I'm pretty sure it'll be cooled off by then. We can go up there and I can enjoy my favorite time of year up there with the fabulous seasons, because we don't really have seasons down here. So The reason why I wanted to come up later this year is so I can enjoy more of that fall festives that I know they have there in Oregon, like the pumpkin patches and the apple ciders and all the fun things that I just remember going on up there. I can't wait to be up there where it's nice and cool. Hello, Linda. Linda is in Wisconsin on the west shore of Lake Michigan. It's probably gorgeous there. I could only, like, in my mind, it's like I can just envision this beautiful lakeside shore with the sand and hearing the whoosh of the water. I mean, I can just imagine. So you are quite lucky, my friend. As long as you're not dealing with the crazy, I know they were talking about a tropical storm, or might have actually gone up to a hurricane now, coming up in through the coast and going through Florida. So any Florida friends out there, you guys all are used to that crazy weather. You guys all know how to stay safe or get the heck out of there. Oh, that is amazing, Linda. Oh, I envy you, let me tell you that. Definitely sounds better than sitting here in the 106-degree weather of Tucson desert. But I will tell you guys that tomorrow we are supposed to see, and tomorrow is actually my son's birthday as well. He is going to be 20 years old. Frida remembers back in the day when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, who's actually 24, and she remembers when I was pregnant with my son. Now, she probably doesn't remember when I was pregnant with Miss Katie Cat because I was not working at the time, and Frida was one of our coworkers back in the day. So kind of ages us when you think of, gee, me walking around waddling pregnant and then my kid is turning 20. Kind of crazy. So yes, we are having his birthday tomorrow. My husband's in town actually right now, picking up his cake. He made a special request for Baskin and Robbins ice cream cake. So my husband had a dentist appointment this morning that he had to go to. And so he is, he just wrapped up at the dentist and he just called me and told me he picked up the cake and he is heading home because we do live about 35 minutes out of town, or at least where the Baskin Robbins is. So he's going to have to try to truck home pretty quick. He did take ice chests, all that kind of stuff, because of it being as hot as it is. Ice cream's not going to last very long. So he's trying to boogie home. All right, you guys. So for the month of July, we have our Sweeter With You paper pumpkin. This kit looks absolutely fantastic. Now, I did hear last week that our paper pumpkins have actually been added to the Quebec area. So now they're available there. That is fantastic. I mean, I'm not a demonstrator in Canada, so it doesn't really have anything to do with me, but just to let you know, if you have any friends up in that area, they can now subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. This is able to be subscribed to by July 10th. Now, the little details that we do have on this kit, obviously you can see that it comes in this fantastic little like picnic box. I'm loving the box of this. It says craft sweet handmade cards featuring sun-kissed strawberries and breezy gingham. It makes 8 cards, 2 each of 4 designs with 8 coordinating envelopes, pre-cut paper pieces and vellum accents, hand-painted card base designs. Coordinating colors are garden green, which is the classic Stampin' Spot this month. So, you know, all of our little paper pumpkins come with its own little stamp pad. So this month it is going to be in garden green. It also says coordinates with Granny Apple Green, Pool Party, Poppy Parade, Strawberry Slush, and Timid Tiger. It says it comes in a charming gingham box that coordinates with this kit. So that's fantastic. We also, since this is a new quarter, we do have a new coordinating add-on with this. This is called Circles of the Season. This comes with a lot of dies, you guys. It comes with its own circle die, which is standalone, fantastic in itself. A wonderful little word, hello. And then as I was looking at this, it looks like this little shape here is an acorn with an acorn topper, but it also kind of seconds as a strawberry as well, where you can put the little strawberry seeds on that. And then you've got your little strawberry topper on that to create. So this little image here can be created into an acorn or a strawberry, which I thought was really inventive that they did that. I just thought that was really kind of cool. Comes with a leaf and a little flower. So that is called Circle of Seasons. That is an add-on. So that will coordinate with July, August, and September. That die will. So through the end of tonight, which would be 11:59 Mountain Time, we still have the buy one, get one half off sweets and sweet products. So actually the set that I'm going to show you today is actually part of a sweet collection. Now I didn't use the whole sweet collection products, so I didn't really call it that. I just kind of called it the bundle that I'm using because I didn't use all the things. But it's kind of cool because if you look at this and you see that it is a sweet collection, if you're looking through any of our sweet collections and you see an embossing folder and you see something like these little laser cut labels, you can add those to your shopping cart. Even though it's not a full sweet collection, it's still part of a sweet collection. So you're going to pay full price for the higher priced item, and then you're going to get the other item half off. So you can go through all of our, even these little embellishments here. These are called the Strawberry Slush Pretty in Pink Gems. They would be on that. Like I said, the embossing folder would be on there. The designer series paper for this collection would be on there a lot, along with even our sweet collections that are in our last chance products. So any of the products that are part of a sweet collection in that last chance are going to be, if they're already discounted, you're going to also get that 50% off if it is the lower product that you have in there. So I highly recommend you going in there and looking at this before it ends tonight. Okay, starting tomorrow, you guys, oh my gosh, we have some new products launching in our exclusives. So I would say that they're probably exclusively online is what it should be called, but there are online exclusives, and that's all you'd have to search. So come tomorrow when you go inside of my online store, shopdannygarola.com, you are going to see a new line of online products. When you click that little menu and you hit the online exclusives, you're going to see some fabulous new online exclusive products. So this is just one of them. Now I ordered two of these, and I'll kind of talk about that as we get going. They're supposed to be here on Wednesday, so I will be able to share with you those fabulous products when I go live next week on Monday the 7th. So this is one that I actually did order. This sweet collection is called the Floral Charm Sweet Collection. So this has a really pretty florally stamp set along with some sentiments in there. A beautiful floral die set. I love the dies in this kit. I really like this full rose that is here, and that it really has some really neat floral images that could just be standalone. So that comes in it. It also comes with a petal pink braided trim, and then the charming shimmer faceted dots. And then it has this, I was sold on the paper. Once I saw the paper and I saw the blues and this Blackberry Bliss in there, I was awed by these colors. So I knew I had to have this. And they have some fantastic little samples here of using it. So I just really like it. And there's that rose that I was telling you about. They've done it in gold foil, and I think that is just so pretty. So there's that one. Again, that is called the Floral Charm. Now you don't have to buy the full Sweet Collection. That Sweet Collection sale will be over. Like I said, that ends at midnight tonight. But you can go through this if you only want the stamp and the dies. Remember, you are going to save that 10% on that full bundle. And we also, just to let you guys know, our holiday catalog that will be coming out in September will not have any Halloween products in it. Our Halloween products are going to be in our online exclusives going forward. They kind of stopped that. I think it was last year they stopped putting the Halloween items in our catalogs. They have gone to it in our online exclusives. Well, I did order a sweet collection. It's called the Spooky, I think it's called Spooky, Sweet Spooky, or I don't know what it is. But anyways, I'll show it to you next week once it comes in. But super, super cute. Now, this is a mashup of a couple of the different Halloween products that we do have. But there is a Halloween paper that is absolutely amazing. As you can see, kind of the colors in here, there's that Petunia Pop. They've used some of that Timid Tiger. Just gorgeous colors in the paper. Once I saw the paper, I knew I had to have the set, that Sweet Collection. We also, that Sweet Collection that I was telling you about, the Spooky Sweet, I think is what it's called, comes with these kind of holographic cellophane bags that I'm so excited to make some little treat baggies with that as well. So you guys can find that tomorrow. I also wanted to show you guys a really cute little bag. So if you guys have ever thought about joining the Stampin' Up team, I'm always willing to help you join my team. So every year they do an incentive for their demonstrators or AKA discount shoppers. So this year they did an incentive that if we bettered our best, so in other words, if we did more sales this year than we did last year, or no, we had to achieve, hold on, I thought I had the little thing here. I'm not sure exactly what the details were, but in the month of, I believe, March, or maybe April, I don't know. Anyways, if you met your sales goals for that quarter, we were able to get that super cute little mesh bag. Now, I have had this in the house because I leave this in the house with all my stuff, but there's separate little compartments in here. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. If you have ever thought about joining Stampin' Up and becoming a discount shopper, a demonstrator, then there are always super fun little extras that us as demonstrators that we kind of get that is only exclusive to us. So this has got 6 little pockets. You've got the ones across the front. This one has the Stampin' Up logo. I've just kept some of my stuff that I need inside of the house, so I don't always have to run out here. Especially when my husband's at work and I need to be watching my daughter, then I can be in the house still crafting. So, all right. I think I'm going to share with you guys when we're done making the cards tonight. I have some cards that I want to share with you guys. You guys have been so sweet sending both of my kids birthday cards. So I've got some birthday cards. I did get one early for my son, and I let him go ahead and open it. And so I will share with you guys his fabulous card that he received in the mail. And then I've got quite a few little cards that you guys have sent to my daughter, and I definitely want to share them with you guys because we love inspiration, right? Okay, so remind me to share that with you guys so I don't click the end button of this and I forget to share my cards. I did make a little note up there, but that doesn't mean squat because sometimes I'm a ding dong and I forget things. All right, so for our first card, so for this week, this is the kit that is going to be offered to you guys when you shop with me between today and the 6th, which is Sunday of July. You will get this exclusive card kit in the mail. This is meant to be coordinated with the Impressions Abloom. So this has got some fantastic ovals in it, and I'll walk you kind of through how those are used. And then we've got these two-part stamping. So you've got a solid, and then you've got more of a detail, which again, I'll show you how that works together as well. But you will have to have this set to create the cards exactly how I intended them to be created. But I understand not everybody has the ability to have all the things. And so if you have a floral set already in your possession, you could probably grab one of your own sets and make these cards just as beautiful as I'm going to show you guys. So starting out, we are going to start with our first card here. Let me get all the pieces here. We are going to need a piece of, this is Old Olive. This is 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to score this at 4 1/4. Just like so. And we're going to go ahead and burnish this down. Now the paper for this set is gorgeous. So one side of your paper is a really pretty floral, a really pretty floral design. So as you can see, we've got the greens with the yellow. And then if you flip this over, you've got this really neat abstract patterned side on the back side. Look at these. I know they're not sunflowers, but they kind of just reminded me of sunflowers. I think they're more of like a daisy, but the backside is a green. Then we've got this really pretty one, and the backside of it is Old Olive. Another really neat pattern for that. And then we have this one. I guess I should show it to you in more of the directional that it needs to go. So you've got the reds, the purples with the green, and look at that. You've got your pretty and pink and your strawberry slush on that side. Look at this one. I love this, where it's the different colors, kind of a rainbow effect going along the side of this paper. And then you've got the Darling Duckling on the back. And then I think I forgot one, didn't I? Yep, this one right here. And then you've got these really pretty floral arrangements on this as well. And then you've got some fresh freesia on the back side of that. So gorgeous, gorgeous paper, you guys. That really coordinate well with this Impressions Abloom. And if you buy the Sweet Collection, like I was saying, it does come with a pack of these gold framed neat little labels. They come in different sizes. You get 2 sheets of each of those that you can stamp your images, stamp flowers in. These are called the foiled frames and labeled ephemera pack. Then there is a pressed flowers embossing folder. So this is neat because it's one of those like not full embossing folders, but it's where it comes along where you can then stamp a sentiment up in the corner here and have that just be your focal point of your card front. And then there is the strawberry slush pretty and pink gems here. So they're really pretty as well. Okay, so we need this piece of Old Olive. Our next piece that we're going to need is I've chose that green with the little hint of yellow flowers in there. This is 4 by 5 1/4. So that's just gonna go on there like so. We're then going to need a scrap. This is that Darling Duckling piece. We're gonna need a scrap piece of this. And what we're going to do with that is we are going to take the small or the, okay, so if you look at these oval images, one has more of like a decorative edge on it and it cuts 2 parts, which I will show you that in just a second. And then you have a solid one here that cuts just a hair bigger than the inside circle of this. So you're going to need that. You're going to die cut that piece out next. When you do, you're going to wind up with a piece that looks just like this. Then you're going to need a piece of gold gorgeous foil. It's not gorgeous, but I think it's gorgeous, but that's not in the name. It's just called gold foil. Then what we're going to do is we are going to take that decorative oval and we're going to lay that on there and we're going to cut that out. And when we do, we get two pieces here. This is what I was saying, where it cuts this separate from this neat little frame here. So I don't need this piece for this card, so I'm going to set that aside. That still has plenty of cutting space on it that I wouldn't toss that. I can use that for a lot of things. You guys know how I am. I'm very frugal with my crafting supplies. So then, since this is just a tad bit smaller than that, I'm going to adhere that together on that for my frame. My next pieces that I need is I'm going to need some scrap of white so we can stamp our flowers. I'm going to need a stamp or a scrap of early espresso, a scrap of my old olive, and then my inside along with my little DSP that I'm going to put in the inside of there. So let's go ahead and get started putting this all together. I went ahead and die cut everything ahead of time just so I didn't have to make you guys sit through me turning around and die cutting. So I will walk you through each one of the images that I die cut. So I'm just going to add some of this glue along the edge of this little gold frame. And I'm making a mess with this glue. My glue is obviously hot and it is just slobbing out of this thing. Let me grab a little wipe here and wipe that off. I'm going to cap that because that's going crazy. And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to set this right around the edge of that frame. I find that it works better when I put the designer series paper on the frame because then I can see the whole outside of that frame and then I'm not missing anything. Let me grab another Lysol wipe here because I got glue everywhere and I don't want to run all my projects through those beads of glue and make a mess. So I'm going to set that aside along with get some of that excess glue off of there since I was glue happy. Okay, so that's what that's going to look like when that has been adhered, but I'm going to set that over there and let that have a little bit longer time to dry while I go ahead and stamp the other pieces that we're going to need. So then I have a white scrap. I'm going to bring in my Darling Duckling. Love this new color. I am going to be stamping a couple of my flowers. Now, if you look at the images on this, you've got two-part stamping. So you would generally stamp your solid images in somewhat of a lighter color. So let me just show you. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. So let me see if I can find something just a tad bit lighter than... So I'm going to grab Lemon Lolly, and I'm just going to show you on here how this would work for the two-part stamp. Let me grab this one right here. So what I would do if I was going to do the two-part stamping is I would grab my lighter of the two colors and I would stamp my full image just like so. Give that a second. pull that off, and then I've got the detailed same flower side by side, same flower, but this has got more of a detailed image to it. I would go in with my darker color. Now, I have no idea whether or not these colors are going to look good together, but I'm just going to show you. Hopefully you guys can see the yellow. I'm going to kind of try to figure out, so I can see there's a cluster here that's going to go with those right there. I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp that inside those flowers. Just like that. So there is the two-part of that image. Isn't that pretty? Now, you know what? Since I've done that, I kind of really like that. And now that I look at my other card, I think I'm going to actually go with this route versus what I did before. And all I did before was I didn't do the two-part stamping. I left out that solid image. But now that I'm looking at this flower, I'm kind of digging that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come right in here and I'm going to do the other ones. So with the lighter color, what did I say that I'm going to do the lighter color in that, and then I'm going to do this darker color. So I'm going to stamp the darker color first because it seems to be a little bit easier to see the darker over the light. So then I'm going to come in with that same flower image, and I'm going to line this up to my flower, and see, I can see that darker color through that a little bit better. And then we're just going to stamp that just like so. Oh, I'm really liking that. I'm glad I decided to share with you guys how to do this, because I think this card's going to look even better now this way. So coming back in with my lighter color, with my darker color, with this little flower. So I'm using all three of the flowers in this set. So let's see, I think this goes just like that. Just like so. And you don't have to get it perfect. Flowers are all shapes and sizes, and there's really no wrong way to do these. So again, I used Lemon Lolly and I used Darling Duckling. Now I'm going to bring in, I think I'm going to actually grab my, I'm going to grab the little small fry here. And I did see, Linda, that you ordered the small Stampin' Cut and Emboss today. You are going to love it. I have decided that this year it's going to go in the RV with me. So when I'm gone, I can still do some of my projects that I need to get completed when we're out and about, because we did get internet for on the go this year. So that's always fun. Okay, let me cut some of these so I can get, whoo, that flipped around quite far. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, as you can see, with our die cut flowers, you have a solid outline of our flower, and then you have this really cool, which on one of my other cards, I'm going to show you how this looks on our flowers. You have an inside detailed impression that is actually done with our dies, and it's pretty freaking rad. So I'm going to show you that. I don't want to not share that with you, because that is probably one of the best parts about these flowers, that you can stamp. You don't have to stamp them and still die cut them, and they look just as gorgeous without any ink. So if you don't have like ink with you when you're stamping, or if you're going to a friend's house and you just want to do some arts and crafts with them, you could take your dies and they could be standalone without having to do any stamping. What am I looking for now? Oh, my other dies. So I'm going to take this and we're going to do this one. I think my husband just got home. I think I hear, yep, I hear him out there shutting the car door. Okay, we're gonna do that one. Oh, geez, and that didn't even stick to anything. I think I'm gonna have to cut those two first and then do the little one because I don't think the little one, the die is gonna fit next to that. So let's go ahead and do these two first. Okay, let's take those off of there. I need my tape. So there's that one. And there's that one. Now let's do our little outline flower here. So let's grab this. I need to figure out how that goes. I think it's gonna go just like that. Now, when you're cutting with your little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, you do need to stagger your plates. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep spinning your handle. And I'm only telling you this because, like I said, Linda did just order this. So I don't want you to get frustrated and think that it's not working. So in other words, let me show you what I was saying. So when you put your plates together, you're gonna use your number, when you're just doing your standard die cutting, you're gonna use plate 1 and then you're gonna use 2 of your plate number 2s. And so when you do, you're gonna want to leave your number 1 sticking out a little bit further than your first number 2 plate. Now, the way I do mine is I use 1 plate alone for my die cutting. So as you can see, that one's pretty haggard. And I'll flip it around and cut on the back side too, because it does get kind of this little curved thing going on with it. And then your next one, you're just gonna wanna move just a little bit further down than that. So it's gonna look like it's stairs, I guess you would say, like it's just tiered down. And then you're gonna run it through like that. Otherwise, if you push them all together and you try to run them through, it's just going to spin. It's not going to go through until, see, until they get themselves staggered, then they'll go through. So I just like to tell people about that when it comes to the little, emboss machine, cut and emboss. Okay, so back to what we were doing. All right, so here are my flowers. And I am then going to use my, early espresso, and I'm gonna cut out a couple of the little stamen pieces of this. So I need 1 big one. Now with these stamens, as you can see, again, they're 2-parters. So you've got the regular cutting one, and then you've got that neat little detail. Now, I will let you know this is itty bitty. When you go to run that through your machine, make sure you know where this is at all times. Like, I just stare at it. I know I'm probably a weirdo, but if that gets stuck on paper and it goes flying off, it's probably gonna be hard as hell to find. I will just let you guys be aware of that. It is itty bitty, and when it's gone, it's probably gonna be gone forever. Unless you have a magnet that you can run around on your carpet and find it. Otherwise, your vacuum or broom or something is going to just sweep that off into Never Never Land. So I went ahead and cut 1 big one and 2 small ones for this. And I'll hold the big one up just so you can see what that looks like. So see, it's cut the circle out and then it's put the little like pin, it almost looks like a little pin cushion of the inside of the flower. So it looks very realistic. I just think that's such a neat little look there. So what I'm gonna do with that, these are for my other card. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in the center of this flower. Now, of course, my glue doesn't want to come out. It wouldn't stop coming out earlier. And now it's just decided that it's going to clam up. Oh, and see, and here it just flowing. You know how much glue I waste because this thing just goes nutso? So hold on, let me get this thing to stop turding out glue. All right, there we go. Okay, so there is that one. I'm just gonna stick that inside of there. Here's the next one that's going to use the little one. And then we've got this one here. Just like so. Again, we're gonna set those aside and let those dry. They shouldn't take very long. Then with our with our other pieces here, let me stick these back on there because again, we don't want to lose any of our images. I'm going to use this big leafy image. I'm going to throw it around like it's something that just can be tossed. So there, I'm going to use that one. I'm going to do that once on my old olive, and then I've got this larger, which this is probably a flower image, but I'm using it as a leaf. So I'm going to die cut that twice. And then, as you can see, there is the long leafy one. And then we've got both of these little, I'm guessing floral images, but I'm gonna use them as a leaf because I can. So then we've got both of those. So let's move this out of the way, this and this out of the way. Move that up. And then what we're going to do is we are going to flip this over, and then just by kind of eyeballing, I'm going to actually set this on here because it's still kind of sticky and it was sticking to my desk. Kind of just eyeballing where I want my flowers. Kind of like so. And that's not exactly how they're going to look. I'm just placing them there just so I can kind of see what I like. So then I'm going to use the word thanks. So you've got 4 really neat sentiments in here. You've got thanks for being there so much, and I appreciate you. So we're just going to use thanks, and I'm going to actually come in with my Versamark ink, and I'm just going to stamp thanks right over here in this upper corner. Then I'm going to move those and grab my gold. Now I probably should have done this before I stuck this gold on there, but I didn't. So let's just hope and keep our fingers crossed that it doesn't get in any other kind of gluey mess here. Oops. Fan needs to be shut off. Otherwise, we're going to have embossing powder everywhere. Okay, I don't know why it's not sticking to that upper K part. There we go, that'll work. All right, so let me put this away first so we don't blow any air on this, and this stuff just goes flying everywhere. So I'm gonna now take this and grab my heat tool. And I'm just going to heat that gold embossing powder up. And because it's so warm out here today, it's not gonna take that long at all. See how fast that did that? Okay, so that is what we want that to look like. So now let's come over here. Get off of me. And adhere this to our card front. Make sure we turn it around and our direction is going the right way. Okay, there's that. Then what I'm gonna do with this is I'm going to grab my dimensionals. And when I go to put my dimensionals on here, I'm gonna actually put them right along the edge to, again, give that a little bit more security against that frame that I have on there. So I'm just gonna strategically, not really, but just kind of sort of throwing those on there, making sure they're touching that edge. We'll put 2 in the center to make sure we've got some lift on that. And then we'll do 1 more right over here. Okay. Oh, I found a dimensional backing in my bed. I must have stepped on it and it must have carried it into our bed, because I woke up and it was laying next to me and I was like, huh, that's kind of funny. Okay, so this is then gonna get placed right like so. And that's popped up there. So you've got some dimension going on. Okay, and then we're going to also put some dimension on these. So I'm gonna take this flower, and this flower is going to, let's see, let's put this right over here. And then we're gonna do this one. Yep, it is a good little machine to have, Linda. I agree with your friend who told you that. And they're really kind of just handy to have because they're so little and they're really portable. Because like I said, if you do want to travel at all, and I know you do a lot of traveling, so I screwed up here and I put a dimensional on the back of this one, and this one doesn't need a dimensional. It's going to go straight down on my designer series paper. So I'm gonna just put a touch of glue on the back of this. So yeah, and I know, like I said, you like to travel a lot, so it would be a great little machine for you to just take with you when you go places. Let me grab a tissue real quick. Because of course, my nose wants to start running and I can't catch it. So then I'm going to take my little leafy green and I'm just going to push that through kind of like so. So I'm just going to come in with just a couple dots of glue on this, because I want those leaves to still kind of be able to come up and raise up off of this little banner there. And then we're gonna come in with these little leafy flowers. I don't know if they're flowers or leaves, but you know what? We make them what we want them to be. That one's gonna go right up underneath there. And then this one is gonna get a dot of glue on that. And I'm gonna put it right up underneath here and push that down, okay? And that is what our fantastic little yellow themed card is going to look like. But it is not complete without a little bit of wink. We got to add some sparkly so you can see it without wink right there. I'm going to hold it up so you guys can see it without the sparkle. And then you're going to see it with the sparkle. And then you can decide if you like sparkle or not. And I just kind of just tap that along all my little yellow stamped images there. And you can come in and do another coat if you want it extra sparkly, because why not? And you could have probably done this before you added the little early espresso, but you know what? I think it works either way. So there it is with the wink. Hopefully you can get a glimpse of that sparkle on there. Now let's do the inside of this. So I'm gonna grab, I just have a little 1/4 of an inch little strip here that was left over from when I cut my front piece. So I'm just gonna run that across the bottom here of my little white inside. And I'm not going all the way to the bottom. I'm leaving just a little white part there. We're gonna go ahead and cut off the excess of that. And so we said thanks on the outside. So you could always come in with so very much for being there. I appreciate you. There's tons of different sentiments that you can put in there. I'm not going to stamp a sentiment only because the fact that I want to leave this open. So depending on to, I can then decide. But what I do want to do is I do want to add a flower in the inside of this. So I'm just going to use one of the little flowers and I'm going to stamp this down here. Now coming in with the Darling Duckling first, and then I'm going to use the Lemon Lolly as the second color. And this is going to go on here like so. Just like that. And you could do a couple of those on there. You could do the different sizes. You can even do this on your envelope. So your envelope would have the kind of the same color on it. And then we're going to adhere that inside of our card. Now you could take your early espresso and cut out another inside and put that on there, or you could just stamp. You do have the stamped images of your 2 sizes of your stamens as well, and you could do that in there. Hello, Kay. Yes, I am feeling a bit better today. It has been a rough week, I will tell you that much. Man, this has really kicked my butt. That's what I told my husband. I go, my Lord, I said, I've never blown my nose so much in my whole 48 years of life. It has been insane. I go, where does snot come from? Like, how does your body build up that much snot in it? Like, it doesn't make sense that I have to blow my nose so much in like a week that, like, I just don't know where it comes from. Okay, so there is card number 1. Now we could always come in with a couple of our, over here we do have, that came with the Sweet Collection, we do have the Strawberry Slush Pretty and Pink Gems, but there's also, whoops, I probably should have left it in there so you could see it. There are these ones that are clear that have just gold little flakes of little gold dust in it. So those would be kind of fun on there. Maybe we should do a couple of those just because we can. They might be pretty. Okay, so I'll bring one in right there. This one I think I'm gonna move down here. And then we're gonna grab one more and bring it up here. There we go. That's kind of fun. I don't like this one down here though. So I think I'm going to move it. Where do I want it? Maybe it's this one that's not looking good. We'll go like that. Nope. Shouldn't be that difficult to add a gem to your thing. So we'll just go like that. We'll call that good. There we go. Because then they can be seen. But there is our first beautiful card using this set. But I kind of wanted to keep it more of the greens and the yellow because I really love this paper, how it just has a hint of that yellow in it. So there's card number 1. Let me show you the difference of the other card that I made, just so you can see. So on here, I only stamped the outside, the detailed image. So I just did the detail. I didn't do the solid image first. I just did the inside. So then you can see the difference here and decide if you like to see more of that white, which it is pretty. I like both cards. And then I did the Wink of Stella on that as well. But as you can see, all 3 of those, I only did the detail. I wanted to keep more of that white flower going on. But this kind of gives you a way to see both doing it like that. So there's that. Okay, so let's do card number 2. Card number 2 is our patriotic card. So let me get all the things out. So for my base, I am using Secret Sky. And this is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. So just like that. My next piece is going to be, this is basic white. This is what is this? This is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Then I've got a strip of Secret Sea, and that measures, that is 1 3/8 by 5 3/8. Then we've got this gorgeous paper here. Now this is called Flower Garden Foils. This comes in Cloud Cover, Pretty in Pink, and Strawberry Slush. And I will be using the Strawberry Slush. Is it Strawberry Slush? No, yeah. I'll be using the Strawberry Slush on another card, but this comes in 2 different patterns. So you've got one more with like little lines, and then you've got ones with flowers. These have already been embossed. So there's the Pretty in Pink. Then you've got the Strawberry Slush, and then the Pretty in Pink in that design, and the Strawberry Slush in that design. Really, really, really pretty thick. This is thick cardstock. So just remember, your kits will come with this paper, along with any other paper that I've used. Okay, so there's that. That's going to actually get adhered right to that strip. Now this is 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. Or no, 5 3/8. It's the same length. It's just 1/8 of an inch wider. So that's going to go all the way to the bottom and run all the way to the top. Just like so. That must, Melanie, wherever you are, you must be close to where Linda is. Rhinelander, is that in Wisconsin or is that in Michigan? Okay, so there's that. We're gonna stamp on this. So let me bring in my little doohickey here. My little stamping sheet. Where is my, oh, I guess we'll use this because I put that away. So let me clean off some of these stamps because I am going to need to use them. So if you have the, what is this thing called? This is called the Stampin' Scrub. If you have this, I'm very particular with mine. I only clean on one side and then I use the other side to do the drying. Okay, so just like that. All right, so on this here, we are gonna actually come in with Real Red. And I am going to, again, just using the detailed image, I'm going to come in to that Real Red, and I'm just going to randomly stamp this around on this white piece. Okay, I think I need just a little bit up here. And I need just a little touch over here. Okay, perfect. There we go. Then using the little stamen, I'm going to use the one that is the detailed one with the little dots. And let me grab another little block here. And I'm going to use my cloud cover. And I'm just going to stamp in the center of all of these flowers. So as you can see, there's my red, white, and blue. Feels like it's cooling off a little bit, but then I just looked at the temperature and it's 102. So, I mean, it's better than 106. Don't get it twisted. I mean, it is better than that, but okay, so this I'm going to adhere right to the front of my Secret C card base. Now on my team, I do a Make It Monday challenge once a month over on a Stamp Above, our personal team page. And this month's challenge is red, white, and blue. So I used this card for the challenge. So now I'm gonna take this strip and I'm just going to adhere that right down over that. Just like so. And I'm leaving about 3/4 of an inch over here on this side. All right, there's that. Then I have a scrap of this same little cloud cover. What I need to do with that we get all my little pieces out here. I love these little bags. I buy these little bags because when I have little die cut pieces that I send to my customers in their kits, these are great for little pieces. Now, you will need to die cut your own little pieces from this because I have not added anything extra to these kits that need to be die cut. Everything is in this die. Okay, so on this die cut, there are these really neat little flowers that already have detailed little veins in it. I'm going to cut those. They actually gave you 2 of them, so that's kind of cool when you're cutting a lot of them. So I'm going to cut those 3 times. When I do, I have these really cute 3 little leaves here, just like that, as you can see. So see the veins, see the details on those. And I'm also going to need to cut out one of the small little stamens, just like this. I'm going to set that there as well. Then with this flower right here, I'm going to use a scrap piece of red, and I'm going to actually use that detailed little sparky in there. It looks like a firework, actually, now that I'm looking at it. And I'm going to turn that around, and I'm going to just set this just like that and run that through my machine with both pieces, just like that. When I do, I'm going to come out with a very, very pretty little flower that is fully already detailed. I didn't stamp, I didn't do anything. All I did was run it through with both of those pieces. See the detail in that? Isn't that cool? Okay, so there's that. I'm going to, again, do that through a white scrap. So then I have another white flower that looks just like that. Then with this little flower right here, I'm going to run that through a scrap of Secret Sea. There's that one with the detail. And then I've also done a stamen in the Secret Sea and a stamen little piece in the white. Okay, so I have it in the cloud cover, Secret Sea, and white. So there's that. Okay, I'm gonna need to keep this piece of cloud cover out because we're gonna actually do our stamping on that. So now that we have this, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to glue the little centers to my flowers. So this one is going to get the cloud cover in it. The white one is going to get Secret Sea in it. And then my little blue Secret Sea is going to get white in it. Ah, if I can hang on to them. Okay, that's how those are going to go. We need dimensionals. I'm going to take 2 of my leaves. I'm just going to put just a dot of glue at the end, and I'm just going to glue 2 of those leaves together, just like so. Give those a squeeze, hold those together. So there's 2 leaves together, and then there's the other one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white flower, and I'm just going to take this little leaf and adhere that right to the side of this one, hanging out just like that. Give it a squeeze, let those adhere together. Same thing with this. I'm going to dot some glue on there, and we are going to put this over here like so. Just like that. Now I am going to take my wink of Stella and I am going to wink those up. Now, as you can see, because I'm adding liquid, see how this looks darker? All that will dry and it will be the normal color of the paper. It's just wet right now. Okay, same thing to this little one. And to the white. Okay. Now, with my dimensionals, I'm going to take the white one and just put that dimensional right in the center of that. And then I'm going to pop that one right like so. Okay. Then with that red one, I'm going to take that and I'm going to take another one and I'm going to add it right up here to the leaves, just so we have those with some stability as well. This one is going to get turned and kind of just overlap that just like so. Okay. This little one here, again, I'm just going to adhere this down. I'm not going to pop it up, and it's going to go right like that. Okay, and you can always pull these little leaves or little petals up to make it kind of have a more realistic look, just like so. Okay. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to grab the sentiment that says, I appreciate you, and I'm going to use Secret C on my cloud cover. And I'm just going to stamp that right like so. Let that marinate because that is a thick cardstock. Then I'm going to grab my snips and we are going to dun, 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 fussy cut. And I'm just going to go around the sentiment here. Give this some curvy appeal. And I am not the best fussy cutter, so yeah, just take it for what it is. Okay, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my mini dimensionals, if I can find them here. There they are. And I'm just going to grab a couple of those. Just going to stick those right on here like so. Maybe one more down here at this end, so this isn't just free flapping all around. Okay, then I'm going to add that just like that, where it says, I appreciate you. Isn't that a fantastic card? Oh, it turned out way better than what I even imagined. When I had it in my mind of what I wanted this card to look like, it was not this cool. So I'm quite proud of this card, I will tell you. Okay, using another little piece of white, we're gonna come in here and I'm gonna go ahead and stamp the red on here a couple of times. Do that. Maybe that one over there. And we'll come in here just like so. Should have used my doohickey. Terminal names of supplies, doohickey. Okay, just like that. And then that is now going to go in the inside of my card. Glue boogers. Okay, there is card number 2, and that is very patriotic. See the Wink of Stella on those flowers and see how it's dried? So it doesn't take the effect of that paper away and make it look like it's something different. It dries really nicely. So there is card number 2. Okay. Now let's do card number 3. So card number 3 kind of has a lot to it, but we're gonna go ahead and do it because this is a fantastic card. And I got this idea from my upline, Miss Kelly Atchison. It was a mystery stamping card that we do on our, when we have our team meetings. And so I fell in love with it and kind of just turned it around and made it my own. So we have a piece of strawberry slush. This is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. So what we're going to do with this is come in here and give that a good burnish. We are going to need our paper trimmer for this. Now, when we flip this open, we are going to want to leave the left side of our card intact. So when we look at the front of our card, we are going to leave the left side on here, but we're going to cut off the right side. So when I put this in here, I want to make sure I line up the things on the left side of my trimmer so I know that I'm cutting out this side over here. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to line that up, and I am going to cut at 2 1/8 all the way up to this score line. So 2 1/8 is half of my card base. So when I do this, I can see where my 5 1/2 line is on my little tick mark of the ruler that is along the side here. So when I cut this up, I'm going to take this little side slashes of my cutter and I'm going to stop right at 5 1/2. Because then I know that I've come to my 5 1/2 mark here. Then I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to line my score line, which is my 5 1/2. So if I look down here, I'm going to see that I'm at 5 1/2. I'm going to take my cutting blade, knowing that there's a little bug. Knowing that I stopped at 2 1/8, again, I can look at my measure over here at 2 1/8. I'm going to grab my cutting blade and I'm going to go down that piece that we just scored, and I'm going to stop at 2 1/8 with my little thing. And you're going to feel it click that, get out of here. You're going to feel it hit that little cut mark. So then when we come in here, we're going to be able to pull that piece off. And then what we're left with is pretty much half of a card base. You have the front little flap here, and then you've got the full back of your card. This piece we're not going to use for this card, but I wouldn't throw it away because it's quite a nice scrap of paper that you can use for future cards. Okay, so that is what our card's going to look like. The next piece that we need to have is our designer series paper. This is our 4 by 5 1/4. That is then going to get adhered to the inside of this card. Look at the other side of that. You could use that as well. That's really pretty too. But I want to see those flowers. Now, Linda, you're going to be getting this kit, so you're going to definitely score this since you've already placed an order this week with me. Okay, the next piece that I need is a piece of Pretty in Pink. This is 6.5 by 4.5, scored at 3.25. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold that like so. Now with the, again, we've got the two ovals. We have the decorative oval and then we've got the plain oval. I'm going to use the plain oval and I'm going to line this up on here. And now if you don't want to buy the ovals in this set and everything, but you're going to still get this kit in the mail when you shop with me, just use this piece. You don't have to do this whole part, but once you see it, you're gonna definitely, it's gonna sell this kit for you. So what I want to do is on the fold over here, this opens on this side, on the fold, I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna see exactly where that little cutting blade is. And I'm just gonna line that up. I'm gonna grab my die cutting machine again. And holding that just where that little cutting edge is, and it's going to be kind of small, we're going to lay that down on our cutting blade. And I'm just going to add some tape to that to make sure it doesn't shift around while we're cutting. Okay, I'm gonna run this through now. I'm gonna do it twice because we are doing the double paper because it is folded. So I just cut it twice, or ran it through twice to make sure I got a, hopefully, oh yeah, see, that works really well. Now, you can see this is still our little open, but it didn't cut this part. So now, okay, it looks like we're back. Sorry about that. I think my phone is getting kind of hot. So hold on a second. I'm gonna see if I can move this down just a little bit so it can actually hit the fan. So when I just touched my phone, it was awfully warm. Okay, so we're just gonna move along here and hope that we stay live. Okay, so again, this is going to be our little fold. So when we line that up, we just make sure we don't cut all the way through. You put that edge out, okay? So hopefully you guys saw all that because I just noticed it spinning over here. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come in with that garden foil paper again. Like I said, we're going to be using the strawberry slush piece. Now this is measuring, there's my ruler. This is measuring 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. This is going to go right like so. Okay. Now what we're going to need is we are going to grab a piece of garden green. Now with the garden green, I'm gonna take this die again, that long leaf set, and I'm gonna cut that out twice from my garden green. When I do, I get both of these long leafy pieces. Okay. Then I need a white scrap. I also am going to take my decorative oval and I am going to cut that on a piece of white, just like so. So let me cut that because apparently I didn't cut one ahead of time. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. And again, as you know, with this decorative one, it is going to give me both pieces. So it's going to give me the outline, that decorative outline. Now I'm going to set that aside because I can use that for another project. All I wanted from that is this inside piece. Now this inside piece is going to actually become the part of my card that I'm going to write on. Okay, it's just like that. So that's going to stay inside of there. Here are my two green pieces. Now on this, I'm going to use Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink. And I'm going to stamp 2 flowers. And I'm going to actually be using the larger flowers. So this one right here. And what I'm going to do is, let me make sure they're clean first because we don't really want any colors mixed. I think they are clean. But there's that one and there's that one. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my outline image or the more detailed image and I'm going to stamp that once and then twice using Strawberry Slush. Like so. Then coming in with the solid flower, I'm going to use Pretty in Pink. And I'm going to stamp over that outline. Okay, like so. Now that was in Pretty in Pink. So we have Pretty in Pink and Strawberry Slush on those. Let me cut those really quick. Again, we're using the outlined image. Okay, I'm gonna line this up here. Grab a little piece of tape. Okay, there's the first flower right there. And then let's do the second one. Yeah, I know I'm kind of late on the whole patriotic card for you guys, especially those of you who get this kit. I know it's going to be past 4th of July, but this kit was meant for last week. So I'm sure you guys are probably aware that because of me being sick, it did delay this gorgeous kit. Okay, now I did have that little bag with my little brown stamen pre-cut. Where are they? You guys see them? Are they sitting? Oh, there they are. Okay, I cut. So we are going to need a scrap of early espresso. A scrap of early espresso, and you're going to cut out 2 of the larger stamens. See how pretty as those things start to dry, how gorgeous those two colors look together, and it matches perfectly with this card. Okay, there's that. Again, let's grab some Wink. Holy gorgeous, right? Ugh, loving it. Winning. Okay, good on that. So let's set these over here. Let's grab our oval. Now, I was looking at this and I thought, you know, you could actually take this through one of our embossing folders, especially if you buy this whole suite. It comes with this pretty embossing folder right here. And you could actually take and you could open this up and you could put this front flap in there and you can run that through and you can get this design on there. Wow. I was going to do that, but then I thought, you know what? There is so much texture on this that would absolutely be overkill. And no, we're just not going to do that. So what I decided is I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it plain because we're going to decorate the front of this. We don't need to get crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on this one part of this leaf, and I'm just going to stick these leaves kind of together like so. Then I'm going to put some glue on the back of some of these leaves just like that, and we're going to take that and we're going to put that right like that on our card. That's the front of our card there. Okay, and so the closure, the closing fold part is over here on the right. The opening is on the left. It's completely opposite, but you're gonna see why it's done that way in just a minute. Okay, just so that doesn't like throw anybody off that, wait a minute, you just put that upside down. I didn't. It's purposely supposed to look like that. Then I'm going to take some dimensionals and I'm going to stick those right on the flowers. I'm going to take this flower and I'm going to place this with that little leaf popped up right like that. Oops. I guess I should have probably watched the leaf up here, but that's okay. We'll just go with it. Then this one, now this is where you need to make sure that wherever you place this, that you don't place it too far, that this will not open. So make sure when you place this one on here, it's not too far over. So I want it up a little bit higher than that. Oh, see, I did my flowers wrong. No wonder why it's looking goofy. Hold on a second. I need to take this off of here, because that is not the way that was supposed to look. Hold on. We're going to put a whole new dimensional on the back of this. Okay, we're going to go like that. And this actually needs to disappear. Disappearo. We're going to go like that on that one. And this one is going to actually be the lower one. Like that. Okay, so then when this opens, we don't have to worry about that catching on our card. So when you see it like this, you're going to open this up. We're going to put our glue on the back of this, and this is then going to go right in the center of our card. So we're going to watch both sides just like that. Push that down, get that stuck on there. We're going to open that up. So see, this is where I'm saying that you want to watch your petal so it doesn't catch on your back and make sure that opens completely up. We're going to stamp on that, so I'm not going to put that in yet. So that is what the front of the card is going to look like. This is then going to come down and down. Do you see that? So again, make sure your flower is not hanging over the roundness of your little flappy part so it doesn't catch on the paper. That's going to open. This is going to open, and then our little white inside is going to be in here, but we're going to actually do some stamping on that. So that's how that card looks when we're finished with it, but we need to do some stamping. So on here, I have a little piece of, this is a little piece of white. This is 1 inch by, I don't know, we'll probably cut it down a little bit. 1 inch by 2.5. And I'm going to use my early espresso, and I'm going to stamp the word thanks. Now we are going to cut this down because it's awfully big. Okay, like that. Okay, grabbing my trimmer. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut this down to, we're going to say probably about 5/8. No, maybe a little bit more. We're going to go to 3/4. Might as well. Yeah, 3/4 works. And then over here, we can just take this down to, where we're going to go. We're going to go to maybe about 1 5/8. Let's get it straight. Just like that. Okay. Then that little guy is going to get you know what? That's so funny that you say that, Linda, that you don't use your Wink of Stella enough. I always forget about it. I always forget to show it to you. But then when I use it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember why I love Wink of Stella so much. So then when I was making this, I was like, I have to use Wink of Stella. These flowers just need some wink. So I totally get what you're saying. I understand. I am at fault of not using it either. But I really think it is gorgeous on these flowers. But you use your discretion whether or not you like it or not. Okay, so then what I'm going to do, there's a lot of things that I forget to use. Let me just tell you that. Especially, we have those sticker sheets. I have them, but I always forget to use them. Or I have my watercolor paper. I always forget to use it. The Fluid 100 or whatever it's called. I always forget to use it, and I just watercolor on regular paper. I mean, it doesn't hurt anything, but it does look better on the other. So now you've got these little, there's 2 sets of these. So you have 6 little tiny flowers. I'm going to go ahead and just die cut that. I'm going to use my big machine back here just because I already put the other one away a couple of times now. And I'm just going to run this through with that other piece of scrap. I had that scrap still sitting here. So then you're going to see I have these tiny, tiny little itty bitty. I'm going to stick them on the brown so you can see it. These 3 little flowers that all get cut out of that one little die. Like I said, you have duplicate of that with this set, so you could actually cut 6 of those at one time. Okay, so there's those little flowers. So then what I'm going to do with them, I'm just going to come up in here and I'm going to dot a couple little glue booger. A couple little dots of glue, just like so. I'm going to actually grab my Take Your Pick tool, my husband's favorite tool. This is his favorite crafting tool when he's making a card. He's always like, do we get to use that? And I go, you can use whatever you want to, but go ahead. Funny guy. Okay, so there's our little white flowers. Now, what I did for my card is I brought in Somebody once told me. Okay, nope, wrong song. Somebody, I was going to use, nope, not those. Where the heck are they? What did I use? Oh my goodness. Too many choices, I tell you what. Trust me when I say you can have too many embellishments. Do you see this? Do you see what I have to go through just to find? There it is, right there. Okay, so what I did use is I used the 2024-2026 in color shimmer. I put, because the reason why I grabbed these is because these are tiny. And they kind of just fit inside of those little white flowers. But I would kind of like to see if these would work, because they are the strawberry and the strawberry slush and pretty in pink. You know what? I think they might work. Let's see. We're going to go for it. So I'm going to use some of the strawberry slush ones because I think they really pop on that pink paper. Okay, like that. We'll grab another one and stick that right inside of that flower because we can never have too much bling. That one's going to go inside of that flower. There we go. Just like so. Now, let's stamp on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that big flower that's sitting here staring at me, saying, hello, use me. And another squirt. And I need the thingamajiggy here. And I'm going to use pretty in pink. And what I'm going to do is, as you can see, I've already stamped off using this before. I'm going to stamp that flower right in the center of this, just like so. Then I'm going to come back in with that early espresso, and I'm going to say so much, or so very much. Let me grab a block here. And coming back in with the early espresso. I'm just going to go right through the center of that flower. So very much. So then when we go to put this inside of this, we're going to open all these little flaps. It's a very interactive card here. And we're going to stick this. And as you can see, this is just a tad smaller than the big one. So again, the outside was done with the plain oval. So the plain one right here, the one that's not decorative. And then the inside was done with the decorative one. I just kept the border out of that and just used that insert piece. So now when we go to fold our card, this is where we would write our little message in there. We fold this down and then we fold this. So then you've got a really, really fun card that is just so stinking cute. Open it, and then there's your message. That's the inside of your card, because this is really only one piece because our other piece got cut off. Isn't that so cute? Oh, I just love that. Okay, so there are all three of our cards using the Impressions Abloom. And we even got a little fun patriotic card using this set so you really get to see the versatility of this fabulous set. So what do you guys think? Are you guys sold on this set or what? Isn't that so stinking cute? Now, remember what I said, you can get all the products along with the gold edged, these are called frames and labels ephemera pack. That is with the sweet collection along with the strawberry slush, pretty in pink gems, and you get that pressed flowers embossing folder all in that one suite if you want all of this. And then you can always look at any other suite, and if you buy by midnight tonight, you are going to get one of those suites at half price. Whichever one costs more is the one you're going to pay full price for. So I would say get 2 full price ones because you're going to pay full price for this one. And then get another one, or if you get a more expensive one than this, then you can get one half off. It's a fantastic deal right now. Plus you get those Stampin' rewards that you can use on your next order when you go to look at all those online exclusives that we have coming up for the holiday. There are some Christmas sets in there. There is, oh my gosh, you guys, I have to order it. I just didn't order it because I wanted to get the Halloween ones up and going. But there is a set that has a little wagon, or it's a tractor, and it pulls a little wagon behind it. And they're all these super cute little die cuts. Oh, I'm in love. I was like, I have to have that. That is so farm life for me. And again, it's my whole fall theme. So I knew I wanted to get the that new flower one, which was the Charming Floral Charm. And because I wanted to, since I am a demonstrator, I got to take advantage of the buy one, get one half off deal of those sweet collections. So I got it on the Halloween, and I did the what was this called? The Floral Charm, so I could do both of those. So that's another perk of being a demonstrator, is you get to take advantage of early release. We get pre-order items that we can get before anybody else. And sometimes, like this month, it just happened to fall on this fabulous buy one, get one half off deal that we could take advantage of that on those new products. So I went ahead and got both those suites. And so I can't wait to share with you guys the super cute Halloween suite that I got. You guys are going to fall in love with it. If you love Halloween things. Now, Halloween, we don't really do much as far as like trick-or-treating. The kids are all too old for that, but we did do it last year. But I doubt it we're going to do it this year. But nonetheless, Halloween decorations, is so my jam. I am such a fall person that I get down on all that stuff. Pumpkin spice latte, oh boy, oh boy. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's class and you guys learned something new, maybe a new technique or 2-part stamping. Maybe you learned a new fun fold, wink, wink, wink. Or maybe you just enjoyed sitting in here crafting with me and letting me do the work, because sometimes it's always nice to have somebody else do the work. All right, you guys, take care of yourselves. We will be live on Friday, this coming up Friday, which will be 4th of July. Me and hubby, I'm not sure if we're going to go as late as I normally do. We might do it an hour or two earlier, just because the fact that I think the kids want to do some fireworks, or we might actually go to one of the places locally, one of the parks or something that is going to do a fireworks show. I don't like spending money on fireworks. I think it's such a waste. I know that's so Debbie Downer, but I just think, golly, you spend so much money on fireworks, and then what? They explode for 2 seconds and then it's done? Like, what? That's crazy. Do you know how many stamp sets I could buy for what we used to spend on fireworks? Well, we won't go down that path, because I'm sure you've all walked in my shoes when it came to spending way too much money on fireworks, right? I know I'm not alone. Trust me. Okay, you guys, take care of yourselves. Love you all. Bye-bye.